Hi guys, welcome to Brandex Reviews. I'm just doing this video, it's not even video, it's audio because it's late and I can't really be bothered to do a full-on video. I don't really need to, it's just my kind of thoughts, not really any clips or anything like that. But I'm just doing this to talk very quickly about the Batman v Superman teaser trailer that has now gone online. And I'm not talking about the leaked version, I'm not talking about the South American one with subtitles on it. I'm talking about the full HD version. First off, I just want to say as well, this is something that I'd spoken to somebody about at work today when that leaked version was the only one going about. They've done the right thing here by owning this situation. I know Marvel did this last year when that first Avengers Age of Ultron trailer leaked early, and they just completely owned the situation and just said, bollocks, okay, we were planning on doing it on such and such a date, it's leaked, we don't want people's first impression of this to be some bad quality trailer. We're going to release a full version. So it's great that Warner Brothers have done that too, because most people have been introduced to this film by that very poor quality teaser trailer, and it was a very early teaser trailer from the San Diego Comic Con 2014, where people in the audience filmed it. And I know Warner Brothers did their best to take it down, but so many people saw it. I mean, if you didn't see that video, what were you doing? Because it was on there for quite a long time, and there were lots of different versions of it going up. And that wasn't how I wanted to have my first impression of this film introduced to me. They should have just released... If they're going to do that at Comic-Con, you might as well just release it online as well. Maybe a day or so later, but they never released that as far as I'm aware. The only versions that got out were the bad quality ones. So it's great anyway. Point being anyway, it's great that Warner Brothers have owned this situation and released the video in full HD ahead of that date, because they were originally going to do it on the 20th, the Monday the 20th of April. But now that's out the window because of this leaked version. So people can forget that bad quality one. We can now watch the full HD one, which is great. It's absolutely beautiful. It's got Zack Snyder's fingerprints all over it, which I'm not a big Zack Snyder fan, I'll be honest. I think he did a great job with Man of Steel. I did love that film. I know a lot of people hated on it, and I can understand to a certain degree why. But visually, at the very least, you got to say visually, it was a great film. I'm not a big fan of Watchmen. I didn't hate on that film, but I just didn't love it like some people do. But I certainly did think the visuals were fantastic, and you can definitely see that in this film. This film does, to me, kind of make me... It reminds me of Star Trek, the motion picture, compared against the sequel, Wrath of Khan. You've got the motion picture, which had its fan base, still does, but a lot of people criticise that film and say, oh, it was no good. Very similar to Man of Steel. Then you've got this sequel, which looks really different and looks like it could be something really special, like Wrath of Khan was in comparison to the motion picture. I liked the Star Trek motion picture, I like Man of Steel, but I think... Well, I hope that this film is going to do what Wrath of Khan did and say, well, if you thought that was good, this is going to be even better to a degree that you wouldn't have imagined. Kind of different in this case because I'm also not just comparing this film and my expectations of it to that first film, Man of Steel. I've got like decades of Batman history that I've read going in as well that I expect this to live up to. And I think that's what they're going for as well. I mean, the Dark Knight trilogy was good in its own right, and it did have a lot of elements of particularly things like the Arkham Asylum graphic novel, the Long Halloween, and so on. But it was kind of limited and restricted to those. I think this one has got more of a feel of particularly the Dark Knight Returns, which was a Frank Miller graphic novel from 1986. I know Christopher Nolan did kind of have tiny little elements of that in his Dark Knight trilogy, particularly Dark Knight Rises. But this one is really going on. I mean, they've said as much. You know, they've said at least one sequence in this film is going to be based on a bit out of that Dark Knight Returns graphic novel, which has also been made recently. I think last year and the year before. There's part 1 and 2, an animated feature, which you can get on 2-disc set. I was talking about this to somebody at work today. You know, if you're kind of hungry for this Dawn of Justice Batman v Superman film, check out that animated film, The Dark Knight Returns. It's a 2-part, like I say. So when you put the two together, it's like 3 hours long. But I think that'll kind of maybe tide you over a little bit. It's great in its own right, anyway. It's voiced by Batman is voiced by Frank Miller, not Frank Miller. He's the guy that did the comic. It's voiced by Peter Weller, who was the original RoboCop. Some people might kind of take some people out of that. But anyway, the point being, that's just kind of a side issue. So, other things with this film as well. What does a trailer give us? Well, you got to bear in mind this film isn't out for another almost a year basically. And if we're going to kind of compare it to Marvel, what they tend to do is they tend to release the first teaser trailer 6 months ahead of their cinematic release, respectively. This film is almost a year away yet, so we're very lucky to get such a, not just a trailer, but such a good trailer, because it doesn't give us too. It sets up that we have a divided population, basically, that are divided between thinking that Superman is a hero, and there's another half that think that Superman is the one that's bringing all the chaos and destruction. You've got that scene in the trailer where you have the statue of Superman that has been graffitied false idol, which I've spoke about in other videos as well, so I won't go too much into that. But there's definitely a key theme of this, people blaming Superman. And obviously there's a narration at the beginning, which kind of a lot of talking heads of the media sort of saying how it's dangerous to have somebody who is looked up to so much as a hero, kind of like a fascist dictator, I guess, kind of Hitlerian sense, where people see them as a god, as a superhero, when in actual fact they are the devil. And it's a very dangerous thing, which is true, but I mean, we know better because it's Superman. But that's going to be a major theme of the film. And of course, Batman, Bruce Wayne, is going to be on the side believing that Superman is a danger and a threat. I mean, the title of the film alone, Batman v Superman, that's got legal connotations to it. In a legal case, you have the person taking somebody to court v the defendant. So in this case, Batman is taking Superman, not to court, but to the streets, basically. And that scene in the trailer where he says, you know, tell me, do you bleed? Well, you will. So he doesn't quite say it like that, but that's the gist of it. And that is, again, like I say, from The Dark Knight Returns. Well, not that actual quote, but that scene is visually very similar to that. Even the suit that Batman is wearing. Now, the casting of Ben Affleck, I was kind of cautiously optimistic. I didn't like Ben Affleck for a lot of years when he was younger, as a lot of people didn't. He's one of those actors similar to Leonardo DiCaprio, like his younger years in films, not so many fans, but his later stuff, very good. Ben Affleck has been great in, not just an actor, but as a director. Films like Argo, really great film. I loved it. And also The Town as well, which again he acted in and directed. So, talented guy, basically, and seeing him in the trailer, he looks the part, absolutely looks the part, and I believe he's going to bring something to it that we haven't seen before. And I love Christian Bale's Batman, so, I mean, for me to kind of be open to somebody like Ben Affleck and say he looks good. I mean, when I say I'm a fan of Christian Bale, I don't just mean as Batman. I mean, generally, he's one of my favourite actors. I've got almost all his films. I mean, I've got a few token Ben Affleck films, but I'm not, like, a fan as such. So I think it kind of carries weight for me to be saying, look, I think he looks pretty good. That's just my opinion, anyway. It's all subjective. But I think I'll pretty much leave it there. I don't really know what else to say. Just really great trailer, especially in the context of the film is almost a year away yet. So we'll see what comes as things develop. And of course, if you check things out, if you haven't seen that trailer yet, like I say, where have you been? Go on to brandxreviews.com if you've not seen the HD one. If all you've seen is the leaked version, there's a lot of clarity in this HD one that wasn't quite, because it looked dark, but I thought maybe that's just the way the film is. No, it's actually quite clear as a HD one. So check it out, brandxreviews.com, and I'm going to follow this, so subscribe to the YouTube channel and all that, and the website. Information coming up on how to get on there, so I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for listening. Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Just so you know, for more news, reviews and retrospectives, you can like our page on Facebook, simply called Brand X Reviews. But as well as that, you can also subscribe to us on YouTube via this video. You can also bookmark our website, which is brandxreviews.com, which is pretty much a central hub for everything that I've just mentioned. So check that out, and we will see you next time. Thank you very much.